Welcome to Unit 2, Section 5 of the course Principles and Practice of Education. Our topic is Responsive Classroom Approach to Teaching. My name is Vera Ankumanse. After completing this session, you should be able to explain a responsive classroom teaching strategy. Discuss the core beliefs of the responsive classroom teaching strategy. Discuss the core beliefs of a responsive classroom approach to teaching. And finally, state and discuss some practices and strategies for responsive classroom. We'll first look at the meaning of responsive classroom approach to teaching. The responsive classroom approach to teaching comprises of a set of well-designed practices intended to create safe, joyful, and engaging classroom and school communities. The emphasis is on helping students develop their academic, social, and emotional skills in a learning environment that is developmentally responsive to their strengths and needs. This simply means that classroom approach takes into consideration the total development of the child. Core belief is our next subtopic. Core belief to responsive classroom approach to teaching. Basically, the belief is that in order to be successful in and out of school, students need to learn a set of core beliefs. One is social and emotional competencies. Here, students after school should demonstrate social and emotional skills such as skills that include love, respect for one another, honesty, truthfulness, etc. Cooperation. And cooperation here means students should agree amongst themselves and respect the views of others as part of their social interactions. 3. Assertiveness. And assertiveness here means students should come after feeling very confident without aggression. They should be bold and express their opinion about things humbly. 4. Responsibility. Students, after receiving training in school, should be accountable for their own actions in the society. 5. Empathy and self-control, and a set of academic competences. This means that students should put themselves in other people's shoes and feel for them in situations where necessary. They should control themselves in all situations and show academic brilliancy. 6. Academic mindset, perseverance, learning strategies, and academic behaviors. This means that the students should always strive to achieve their goals to better shape their academic and career needs. Now let's look at the guiding principles to responsive classroom approach. 1. Teaching social and emotional skills. As a teacher, teach students how to live in harmony and in peace with one another, encouraging attitudes like love, care, affection, sincerity, etc. 2. How we teach is as important as what we teach. And this means that the ways you use to teach are relevant as the content you teach. Teachers should use the right methods of teaching, such as student-centered learning, to improve students' involvement. 3. Great cognitive growth occurs through social interaction. And this means that be mindful that students learn best and are able to exercise their minds when they interact with others and themselves. This should be encouraged by teachers. 4. How we work together as adults to create a safe, joyful, and inclusive school environment is as important as our individual contribution or competence. This means that teachers should also create teaching environment that encourages friendliness and social behaviors. What we know and believe about our students individually, culturally, and developmentally informs our expectations, reactions, and attitudes about those students. And here it means that we should also get to know about our students so that we know what to expect from them, since each student is different. Then the last point here is partnering with families. Now let's look at classroom practices and strategies. Classroom practices and strategies. Basically, these practices and strategies are classified into two: those employed more in the primary schools and those additional ones employed in the middle school, that's the junior high school. Now let's first look at the practices employed in the primary schools. And this include interactive modeling. Interactive modeling. An explicit practice for teaching procedures and routines, such as those for entering and exiting the room, as well as academic and social skills, such as engaging with the text or giving and accepting feedback. This simply means ensuring proper interactions among teachers and students. Still on classroom practices and strategies. Morning meetings. Morning meetings. Everyone in the classroom gathers in a circle for 20 to 30 minutes at the beginning of each school day and proceeds through 4 sequential components. That's greeting, sharing, group activity, and morning message. Then establishing rules. Teacher and students work together to name individual goals for the year and establish rules that will help everyone reach those goals. Then energizers. What are energizers? A short, playful, whole group activity. What are they? What are energizers? This serves as relaxers to teachers and students and prepare them for other tasks. Just relax the teacher and the students for the preparation for other tasks. Still on classroom practices and strategies. Quiet time. And quiet time is a brief, purposeful, and relaxed time of transition that takes place after lunch and recess before the rest of the school day continues. In some schools, somebody will say the library time. So that's a quiet time. Then closing circle. A 5 to 10 minutes gathering at the end of the day that promotes reflection and celebration through participation in a brief activity or two. Okay, let's now look at the middle school practices. That's the JHS practices. 1. Investing students in the rules. That is, setting SMART goals, connecting the goals to rules, connecting the rules to concrete behaviors, and making the rules come alive. A simple explanation here is set achievable objectives and ensure necessary rules and methods to achieve them. Brain breaks. That's the second point. Short breaks in whole class lesson that give students a chance to move and interact. Used to increase focus, motivation, learning, and memory. The third point is active teaching. Active teaching. A strategy for delivering curriculum content where the teacher presents, explains, illustrates, and demonstrates content in a way that enables students to meet a learning objectives. The 3 phases of active teaching is model, student collaboration, and facilitate reflection. This simply means that ensuring cooperative learning through student involvement and practical activities allows students to discover knowledge for themselves and challenge themselves. Student practice. And here it's a process that follows active teaching where students explore and practice under the teacher's guidance the content and skills taught during a lesson. This gives the teacher the opportunity to identify and correct students' thinking before they practice further on their own. Then small group learning. Small group learning. A structured way for students to work together on a specific learning goal, assignment, or project that is organized by the teacher. It simply means you put students into small learning groups, supervise them, let them interact and discover ideas for themselves. Now for your self-assessment. Thank you.